My name is Toby, and this is a 10-minute workout developing internal power. And this power comes from the correct body structure together with correct application of the joints. We're using the tendons more than the muscles. So this structure is called the neutral stance, levering forward. And here upright, this is called the upright neutral stance. It's a neutral spine with neutral hips and shoulders standing nice and tall with a good alignment. And from here, let's just start by rolling the shoulders, keeping that structure but expanding the rib cage and rolling the rib cage and shoulders together forward and backwards, feeling that nice stretch and that nice posture. And from this position we can start to develop this elastic power, this internal power, which comes from the tendons and the joints more than the muscles. It comes from the structure and the tendons. So here we're starting with the elbows. Just bend and straighten the elbow, but resist it. This is isometric tension. As you bend the arm, you resist, and as you straighten the arm, you resist. So you're moving under tension. And the same with the shoulders. I pull the shoulders up and back, but resist, and then push the shoulders down and forward, but resist. I'm creating isometric tension in the joint together with movement, dynamic tendon isometrics. And then a bit more from the elbows. You keep the elbows twisted in, so you twist the little finger up and then twist it over. So I'm twisting the wrist but not moving the elbow, and you'll feel it creates a stretch from the elbow to the forearm, down the forearm to the wrist. Now all together, bend the elbow under resistance, straighten the elbow under resistance, twist the wrist and resist, so you feel a tension all the way through the movement, and you'll feel a stretch in the elbow joint. Then bring in the shoulders as well. The shoulders come up and back a bit as you twist the wrist in, bend the elbows, and the shoulders go down a little bit but stay up nice and tall as the arms stretch out, and you're just working the dynamic tendon isometrics down the whole arm. Then we go to the spine. So this is a spinal twist, exercise number 2. Stretch up nice and tall, pull the belly in, and you twist left and right from the obliques. Slight expansion in the rib cage, you're arching back, stretch open the shoulders, pull the elbows back. Now a bit further, we've got a counter twist. See, I twist my hips one way and then twist the shoulders the other way against it. So that's one way in the hips, now the shoulders go against it. So I'm creating a counter twist. So you start by twisting in the hips and then twist the shoulder opposite to that. It takes a bit of practice, and then if you get the hang of it, you can twist the hips one way and the shoulders the opposite way. And you've got to control this from the obliques. Pull in the belly, navel towards the spine, and squeeze one oblique against the other oblique. So you're creating a dynamic tension up the spine. And you can move a bit further, so you twist the hips all the way one way, but then twist the shoulders against it. Now be careful not to compromise the spine. You've got to keep the neutral spine, slight arch backwards, there's an S curve, and you feel a stretch. The sternum is tilted up, rib cage is open, and you're controlling this all from the obliques, and you're feeling a stretch up the spine from the hips to the shoulders, a counter twist. Now we go to the legs. So you stand on one leg, still trying to hold a neutral stance, bend and straighten the knee, but under resistance. So as I bend the leg, I resist, and as I straighten the leg, I resist, even flexing the toes slightly back. So this is working the knee joint, and you're going to feel it in the hamstring, but also the front of the knee. You're working the tendons around the knee itself. So this will strengthen up the knee. Be careful not to twist the knee, just bend and straighten it in a straight line, so the knees and ankles are together. Now the ankles, rise up as high as you can on the ball of the foot. I can go right to the tippy toes like a ballerina, so if you can do that, do that. But you want to get the maximum range of motion in the ankle, so really try and stretch up tall and go up and down from the ankles. Now we're doing a bit more in the spine, so arching back, lean all the way back, and then hunch forward. So you exhale, you hunch forward, pull the belly in. Inhale, arch back, expand the ribs. So you're flexing the spine, bending and flexing the spine. Do this very carefully. You're trying to feel an even stretch and a control of the whole spine, bending it forward and bending it backwards. And under a resistance, control it carefully. And then this is exercise number 1, arm swinging. You're just twisting left and right, relaxing everything, keep that nice vertical neutral spine. So you're doing high tension in this training, in this workout. You must always relax in between. Now the hip joint rotation. So I'm standing on one leg, bent the knee, so I'm sitting down a little bit, and I'm rotating the hip as far as I can, inwards and outwards, pivoting on the ball of the foot. So this is about range of motion. I've really got to twist the hip as far as I can, control it from the tendons in the hip joint itself. So I pull it in as far as I can and twist it out as far as I can, isolating a rotation in the hip joint under resistance. So I'm keeping a controlled resistance in the tendons of the hip joint as I'm rotating it. And the same here, standing up, lift up and twist the hip, rotate the hip out, under resistance, controlled resistance. Now, a little bit further, let me show you the arms under some actual weight. So this is a weight machine, but I'm isolating the joints, isolating the tendons as I'm training. This is not about the muscles. So I pull the belly in, that nice neutral spine. I'm locked out the arms, twisting the elbows up. So you can see the pit of my elbow is twisted up, and I've locked that out. So the elbow tendons are locked. Now all I'm doing is moving the shoulders. So I'm lifting the shoulders up and back, stretching them because the weight is pushing them back, and then pushing the shoulders down and forward. But the arms are locked out. I'm isolating the shoulder joint, letting it stretch all the way under resistance because I've got to fight the weight, and then stretch it forward under resistance. Slow controlled movements will train the tendons. So I'm using, and now so a sudden fast movement. So I'm creating 1 inch power in the shoulder joint. So the very last minute I lock up the tendons, fast twitching the tendons to push the weight out. And this is 20 kilos per hand, so 40 kg in total. It's not that much, but it's enough to do some work. Now I'm doing the elbows. So the shoulders are still, I'm bending the elbows only, but I'm controlling the elbow tendons, keeping the elbow twisted inwards. The pit of the elbow is up, and I'm stretching from the elbow joint, controlling this twist from the elbow to the wrist. And once I've done that, now I release out the shoulders and I twist out the spine. So I'm doing the spinal twist exercise, pulling the stomach, controlling the obliques, twisting up the spine all the way to the shoulder and the wrist using this machine. So it's a dramatic stretch, and here in the neck. So the idea is you've got to alternate tension and relaxation. Now here we're doing the embracing the tree position. I'll leave the link below to yesterday's video. But from this embracing the tree, training this elastic power, I'm expanding and contracting, controlling the resistance in all the joints. So have a go, experiment with this. You've got to play around. You're trying to isolate the joints. It should feel good. It should feel like a stretch. If you're feeling any pain, it's going wrong. You've got to get the alignment right. So work on the body alignment first, and once you've got the hang of that, then you can start increasing the tension and increasing the range of motion of the movement. Okay, I hope this made sense. Please leave any questions and feedback in the comments below. Look forward to seeing you in one of these other videos.